Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Color X Malice Unlimited, and we are still going down Okazaki's sort of route, I guess. Yeah. And we're in chapter 3, beginning, halfway through, something like that. I don't know. We've got one out of our 2 choices in chapter 3. So probably a couple more parts. I don't think we'd get our ending in this one unless chapter 4 is really short. I'm thinking maybe the next part. And then maybe that, yeah, so, but we'll see how far we get in this one. So anyway, hi Mochita, I just finished my patrol rounds in 2 Chrome. Nice work. How was it? About 30% of the residents were at home. That's to be expected on a weekday, but I'm gonna follow up soon. Just like we thought, huh? It was like that when I went out too. A lot of people are out of town. I know it's tough and tedious, but keep it up. We've been going door to door in our assigned areas recently. This type of community policing was another one of SRCPO's important duties. After all, how were we supposed to help in the case of a crime or disaster if we didn't know the people we were serving? Neighborhood patrols were an indispensable part of keeping our job running smoothly. Wow, that's dedication to your job. I don't think cops have never come to your door unless, like, something happened. The one time a cop was at my door, I was like, the fuck did I do? Like, it's like, I did not do anything, by the way. It was someone on the other side of the building. Like, someone busted in their door and stole their TV. Okay, the apartment that literally, in broad fucking daylight at like 9 a.m. I was already at work. But like, that was not I'm just gonna break in because I think you might not be home, and like, that was personal. They took the guy's TV, nothing else. That was personal. That was like a roommate fight or some shit, and they were like, fuck you, they busted in that guy's door, stole his TV when they knew he'd be at work. I mean, absolutely. You know what I mean? Absolutely, like a broad daylight. Come on. Anyway. I'm going to go update our database of verified residents now. Alright, thanks. Once you're finished with that, you can go home. You've got night shift coming up, so get some rest. I traded goodbyes with Mochita, then sat down at my desktop computer and thought about my plans after work. Tonight, Okazaki was coming over to my place. He also had tomorrow afternoon off for the first time in a while. I'll prep for dinner, then take a quick nap. What should I make? I'm back! I heard the sound from the TV as I returned from doing grocery shopping. I saw Kazuki lying down and reading a magazine. Kazuki. Why did I say Kazuki? See? It's hard to me. Kazuki, don't you have class today? Only in the morning. Don't worry, I'm not cutting class. Good timing then. Okazaki's coming over for I'm out. I'm going out tonight. You didn't even let me finish. I can already tell. Why do I have to have dinner with my sister's boyfriend? Because he might be your brother soon. Let's just eat together. I'm planning to cook a lot. No, busy anyway. Do you have band practice? Nah, I'm getting dinner with Yoshinari. He said he'd treat me, so... Huh. Yoshinari. Wait, that Yoshinari? Do we know another Yoshinari? If you don't believe me, just ask him. No, I believe you. I just didn't realize that the two of you were so friendly. We've been texting each other for a while, but then he suddenly invited me to dinner out of the blue. Oh, is he your rebound? Kazuki thrust his phone at me so that I could see. It's so funny. He's like, see, I'm going out. I trust you. Jesus. And also, you're an adult. Not trying to be mean in particular, but I have a feeling it's better to not be home today. Oh, wait. That's him. Wait. Not trying to be mean in particular, but I have a feeling it's better not to be home today. When those two are getting it on, it's, well, how do I put it? I want to put bleach in my eyes. On that note, are you free today, Kazuki? Let's grab a bite to eat or something. Your big brother's treat. Oh. What? Was this Yoshinari's way of giving me some alone time with my boyfriend? And apparently used to be seriously into rock music for a while. He's got LGS albums from their indie phase. They're super rare, so I got him to let me listen to them. LGS. An indie band of moderate renown. Their name is an acronym for Lie God's Soul. Their appearance is based on the Chinese novel Investiture of the Gods, despite the fact that they're a rock band. During every live performance, it always starts with the members shouting, "You ready for the investiture?" LGS? Why do we even bother? Anyway, I'm taking off for now. Kazuki got up and left the apartment. I wished he and Okazaki got along better. With that in my mind, I made some dinner preparations before my nap. Dinner's almost ready. Just have a seat at the table. Oh, we were talking to him. I thought we were talking to ourselves. Smells great. I'm looking forward to it. This was a few hours later. I'd taken my nap, and then Okazaki had shown up. I had some marinated meat that I'd started cooking in the oven before I went to sleep, so the meal only needed the finishing touches. Why don't you let me help? You don't know how to cook, right? I can do it if I try, probably. Though Yoshinari got mad at me last time and told me to never pick up a kitchen knife again. I have a feeling I should take that advice. Oh, does Yoshinari know how to cook? He's not as good as you. Plus he gives the food weird names. Such as? Look, sir, behold, Yoshinari's famous spicy potato salad. I call it the SP salad, available only from the SP. Spicy potato salad actually sounds fucking amazing because potato salad's amazing. And now I'm curious. And the tagline will be, it keeps your stomach safe. But it was good, right? Yeah, unfortunately. It sounded very much like Yoshinari. I wondered if Kazuki was having fun with him. It's almost done, so you don't have to help. You must be tired from work, so just make yourself at home. Hey, oh, right, I actually have a present for you today. A present? It's a secret. I could have given it to you any time, but I wanted to wait for a good moment. That just makes me more curious about it. Be a good girl and you'll get a reward later, okay? Fine, if you insist. You're setting a pretty high bar for me. I finished plating the food and set it all on the table, side by side. The centerpiece was an aromatic dish consisting of spare ribs marinated with a dry rub, allowed to rest in the refrigerator and then baked in the oven. Next was a homemade pizza, which had an assortment of toppings that gave every slice a slightly different flavor. Balancing out the pizza was a salad using rice paper spring rolls. And since Kazuki wasn't joining us, I set out some sparkling spirits and wine that were in the refrigerator. Okazaki's eyes lit up in surprise as he saw me bringing everything to the table. How cute. What's the special occasion? Wait, don't tell me this is our anniversary. It hasn't been a year yet. Is it your birthday? No. My birthday? I knew he was going to ask that. Is it your birthday? No. Is it my birthday? Still wrong. We celebrated that 2 months ago. Okazaki cocked his head curiously. I smiled and took a seat. It isn't a special day. I just noticed that you looked tired recently, so I was hoping to cheer you up. This is all for me? But this must have been a lot of work. You didn't have to do all this. You're right, I didn't, so I hope you eat a lot. Wow, is this really for me? There's no conditions or anything. This isn't like letting me down because you're going to break up with me or anything. Oh, it's nothing, really. Please don't be suspicious of my goodwill. Thanks. His surprised chibi face is adorable. I've got to think of something amazing to properly thank you for this awesome surprise. I should have saved that present for a more special occasion. The food's getting cold. Help yourself. Right. Don't mind if I do. Whoa, this is so good. I don't think I've eaten a spread like this since I used to eat with my family. True happiness. With every bite, he gave me his honest impressions and was smacking his lips in anticipation of the next taste. Your family, you're an only child, right? I'd heard a few bits of trivia, but aside from that, I'd never taken the time to ask Okazaki about his family. Okazaki wolfed down another slice of pizza and nodded. Yep, my parents divorced when I was in primary school, so it was me, my mom, and my stepdad. I hear stories about complicated second marriages, but we were a pretty normal family. In fact, they were a little overprotective of me. My parents loved parties. Every occasion possible, birthdays, holidays, whatever. They threw a big dinner party. Huh, sounds like you had a warm and festive family life. Yeah, I feel blessed to have parents that wanted to spoil me so much. And maybe because of that. And maybe that's why I want to protect other people instead of just having them take care of me. You said before you decided to join the police after a patrol officer helped you. Yeah, I thought it was really cool that his job was to help other people, so it seemed worthwhile. I wanted to become someone like that. I guess if you put it another way, I felt worthless being protected by other people. Huh. Now that I think about it, that attitude must have taken root when I was a child. Would you mind talking to me about it? I want to know more about your life before we met. I mean, okay, so I get it's nice that they're doing this. It is weird because you're like, feel like these are conversations that you probably should have had sooner, and they would have, but they have to tell us this because we don't know this. You know what I mean? So even though it's like, it's been 4 months, we're having conversations about oh, you have parents. Interesting. Oh, you have you know what I mean? We should know these things. But I absolutely get why they're doing it. So it seems odd, but at the same time, it's like, it's good for us because we're getting his backstory that we didn't get before, you know? Sure, but it's not really an impressive childhood. After all we've been through, I figured that you'd understand that I want to know the good and the bad parts about you. Huh, you don't miss a beat. He smiled a bittersweet grin and took a sip of wine. Then he quietly began his story. You might think this is obvious, considering it's me, but I feel like I was one of those gifted students during high school. I didn't particularly have to try hard in my studies or sports, and my friends didn't really cause much drama. It was an easy life. And so I've been able to do what I want ever since childhood, without experiencing any real setbacks. You said before that you were aiming to join the SP from the start, not just the regular police. Yeah, I wanted to be one of those dashing heroes who protected VIPs in a crisis. I wanted to be part of a chosen elite. Okazaki smirked childishly and gazed at me through his wine glass, a nostalgic expression on his face. I put all my effort into that. It was fun to work towards my dream job, and I gained more and more confidence as I got stronger. I was proud to be one of the strong. I loved that I was climbing closer to my ideal of being in the SP, to be a man that other people needed. But as you know, reality eventually catches up to you. Nobody lives a charmed life forever. You're talking about the assassination attempt on the Prime Minister 2 years ago. Okazaki quietly nodded and laughed derisively. I've told you the story before. It sounds bad enough on its own. For those 2 years, I was terrified. I wanted to cast aside my weakness and never lose anyone again. But I was also afraid to live an aimless life, so I kept chasing the delusion of dying a death that meant something. Now, of course, I don't feel that way anymore. I'd be lying if I said that I'm not afraid of anything, but now I have you by my side, and I know that I can get stronger for my own sake, so that I can live the life I want. His smile warmed my heart. I'd also felt a strong desire to feel needed since I was a child. I wanted to be special to someone else, and now that wish was coming true. Now I feel better. Huh? Lately, you seem like you've been pushing yourself to extremes. I'm glad that you seem to have moved past that phase. Is that how it looked to you? Yes, since you went on active duty, it felt like you've been taking on bigger and bigger jobs. It seemed like you'd inadvertently let yourself be chained down again, and things had gotten the way they were when we first met. I was worried. Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you worry. Oh, now I see why you were so upset when I caught that guy at the party. Yeah, it felt like you were wearing yourself out again, but now it's because you feel like you have so much to lose. You noticed, huh? I only realized that myself recently. Okazaki, you get really serious about the strangest things. Sometimes you'll instantly decide on the most extreme conclusion. Oof, feels like you can see right through me. I have mixed feelings about that. I'm gonna be keeping a close eye on you. Apparently, I can't just trust you not to go charging off into a disaster. You sure know how to get me, even if you're saying that you can't trust me. He smiled cheerfully, and my love for him grew. Like you said, I'm learning to deal with that. I think I made the right choice at that party, and that's why the incident ended without a hitch. In the future, I'm probably going to struggle to make some other hard choices, too. I'm well aware that people don't change overnight. I'm sure that the parts of me that are cowardly or selfish, and the parts of me that want to live for my own desires and wishes won't change quickly. And I think I still have a lot of room to grow, mentally as well as physically. I'll move forward a little at a time. I won't rush to make myself change, and I'll try to turn my weaknesses into strengths. That's how I've been feeling lately. He finished, his eyes gentle. I nodded. There was no trace now of those gloomy eyes he'd had when I first met him. He didn't need to change himself immediately. He just needed to take care of himself now and grow little by little. Even if he was scared or weak or he failed, we'd overcome those setbacks together and get stronger. Our happiness would grow alongside as well. Well, thanks for listening to my spiel. It's a little embarrassing to talk about it. I feel like I've learned a little more about you today. I shyly smiled. Then Okazaki changed the subject to me. To me. So, what about your family? I know about your brother Kazuki, but what about your parents? Are they as nice as you are? Oh, I'd have to say they're rather strict people. They used to compare me to Kazuki and yell at me all the time. They said that only a man could carry on the family legacy, so thank goodness Kazuki had been born. Hurtful things like that. That must have been tough on you as a child. I didn't remember my parents as people that I was particularly fond of. Of course, I bore them no ill will, and I was grateful to them for raising me. But the way they had treated me dimmed that gratitude. Kazuki had borne all my family's hopes and expectations, leaving me with my own set of issues and baggage. Yeah, and I remember that, and that's why he hated us so much, because yeah, so now I gotta carry on thinking I just want to play music, and it's like, just do what you want to do, goddammit. He's like, you're right, oh my god. Now I love you again. He was a kid, you know? I'm always thinking that I can't be satisfied staying the way that I am. That they're my parents, so I need to listen to them and make it so that we can properly understand each other one day. That's the thing, though. You get in that, you're like, I leave, I'm free, but you're never totally free. Unless you, go no contact, right? Your parents are always in your life. And even though you're like, I live on my own, your mother is still like, did you clean today? Stop it, mother! I will not dust if I don't want to Okay, fine, I'll go do it. No, I still don't dust. But, that's what your parents' job is for. To, constantly make sure you're doing things the right. You should be doing this. I know, Mother Jesus. Your parents are always going to parent you no matter how old you get. Usually it's good parenting, because then you're like, I'm sad. I'm just going to call my mom. I don't know. I just feel sad today. Unless you have asshole parents, then it sucks. And then they're still asshole parenting you, But whatever. Well, why do you feel that way? Okazaki asked a very simple question. Why? Isn't it normal? My friends were pretty much the same way. I don't think you should force yourself to like someone who you dislike, see? If you can come to an understanding by expressing your honest feelings, that's all well and good. You can love me without understanding me, and the inverse is true. You can dislike someone you understand. You're not forced to love your parents. It's your life, so you need to prioritize what you want. If you want to cut someone out of your life, then you should. And that's what I think. I mean, he's not wrong. Look. You can't choose your family. And yes, you're supposed to love your family, but you can love your family and not like them. You know what I mean? And you can also be like, yeah, they're my family, but I don't want to have anything to do with them. Mostly because they did some horrible shit, or you're like, wow, yeah, no, just it's just weird, because everyone I think is raised that it's your family, and it's well, your husband and your kid, you chose, or your wife, whatever, you chose that family. You choose that family. Your kids didn't choose you. So if you're an asshole, your kids don't have to love you forever. You know what I mean? They don't owe you that. You don't owe anyone love. That's your gift to give to other people. But it does kind of suck when you watch all these people I hate my family. And you're like, wow, that's weird. It's I don't know. Every family dynamic is different. Everyone's family dynamic is a little weird. Okay? Just saying. I hadn't expected that at all from Okazaki. Families should get along with each other. Well, not always the case. But hearing him accept all my emotional baggage and say that I didn't need to force myself to obey that value seemed to lift a weight from my chest. It's true, though. Are you sure? Is it really alright for me to not like them? Yeah. Kazuki will understand, don't you think? He would. He's a better brother than I deserve. Kazuki was far more competent and collected than I am. He studied hard, but never gave up on his dreams. I admired my little brother. Right now we live together, but one day he'll set out on his own. I think I'll be lonely when he does. I smiled with what must have been a tender, motherly expression. Okazaki stared at me. Fine. Then I'll be your family. Huh? I can't replace Kazuki, but there's definitely another position that's open. I'll always be by your side, supporting you. How about that? Wait, you mean... Could I really accept such an offer? I weighed the significance of what he was offering, gripping my wine glass in both hands. Condensation crept down my fingers. Hey. There was a deep expectation behind his words. Then, for some reason, he suddenly thumped the table, startling me. Oh, I thought he pounced on me. What's wrong? Hang on a second. I'm trying to find the right words. I felt exhausted by his reaction, but on the other hand, he might be trying to say something really important. Don't scare me like that. It's unusual to hear you say something like that, though. Is it? Yeah, usually you just say whatever comes to mind. You're so mean to me lately, Spacey. And yet he still wants to be with us, I'm just saying. I giggled, watching Okazaki doodle sulkily on the table with his finger. You've been calling me Okazaki this entire time. Huh? Oh, sorry, habit. You were so friendly with that Sayaki guy. You're bringing that up again? I'm always the one who has to kiss you first. That's, He was in maximum sulk mode now. I want a kiss. Are you drunk? I'm sorry. She's being kind of an asshole, but it's like, it's just so funny. Like, I want a kiss. Are you drunk? Like, he just wants a kiss. Like, the reaction is just so funny. Because I could see me doing that, someone saying that, like, hey, blah, blah, blah. Are you drunk? Like, what the fuck? Just a sarcasm in it. But, you know, she's like, are you drunk? You want to kiss me? Are you drunk? Like, girl, kiss your boyfriend. Jesus, stop being a fucking waif. Like, she's like, oh my god, I can't, I'm embarrassed. Oh my god, he has to kiss me. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Stop. I hate that. It drives me crazy. It's just the core of my being to just want to smack her in the face. Like, this is not, we've just been dating for like a week, or he's trying to make out with you in public. That I get. It's a different culture thing. But like, stop being, oh my god. Oh, for fuck's sake, you've been boning this man for like 4 months. You think you'd be able to kiss him. Tell him you love him. I don't know. I mean, I understand when it's the first time, or like the name thing. I get it. After 4 months and having sex with him, I think you'd be able to call him by his first name. But I get that it's a big thing. It's not, you know, we don't have that in Western culture. But I get the significance of that, and you can be like, okay, well, I can understand where it's just force of habit to call you Okazaki and not call you Kei, right? I get it. So I kind of get that little, oh, it's strange. Like, you'd think, again, after 4 months and having sex with the man, you would be able to do it. But okay, fine. I'll give you that. But not the like, oh my god, I get to kiss you? Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm gonna need you to stop with that. It's just weird. That's weird. I can't imagine that there's actually people, even in Japan. I can understand that not hand-holding in public, kissing in public is weird. PDA is just weird, okay? I get it. It's kind of fucking weird. Like, people in the West do it, but sometimes when you watch it, you're like, that's fucking weird. Nobody wants to see your tongue down each other's throat. Gross. Keep it at home. Okay? But I just can't imagine that there are people in the privacy of their own home like this, that a man would be like, hey, give me a kiss. Oh my god, that's so embarrassing. We've been married for 6 fucking years. You still can't kiss me? Really? That's some seriously fucked up repressed culture. That if you were like that at home, I understand in public, I do. But like at home? You might need therapy. Is that because that's kind of the vibe, that's what you're trying to tell me. And I just cannot fucking believe it. I cannot believe that at home, people are like this. This is not like, give me a kiss. My brother is sitting right there. And he's like, good, I don't want to see this. But like, again, I get that, but privacy at home, and she's gonna get, it's weird. It's just fucking odd. And I just cannot fucking believe that that happens behind closed doors. Anywhere. Unless you were like, this was an arranged marriage and I hate you, I don't want you to touch me. I get that, but you chose this. I timidly asked, and Okazaki energetically looked up at me and slapped his cheeks between his hands. I think so. My head feels all fuzzy. I thought you were good at holding your liquor. Are you feeling all right? Uh-huh. I'm okay. But I should probably go home now. Yeah, I'm sad to see you go, but your health comes first. That's not what I mean. I'd feel bad for you if I stayed. Huh? What do you mean? I'm gonna do bad things to you. Oh. Well, that sounds like fun. Maybe you should stay. I'm kind of a violent drunk, you see. Oh, violent? What do you mean? Actually, maybe I shouldn't ask. That's not what you mean. I know you mean like, I'm gonna get handsy, but when you say violent drunk, I'm like, are you gonna start beating me? Because maybe we should break up. It's not I don't think you should say that. I might tease you too much. Oh, okay, that. It always feels like you're teasing me in your own weird way. And then I'll tease you even more. He cackled, causing me to flinch, but then he caught hold of my arm and didn't let me move away. Can I do mean things to you? He pushed his face so close to mine that I could feel his breath. I get violent and mean in the context. Again, a weird choice of wording. Probably in the translation. Mean, I get, but the violent is morely, yes, I'm going to, like, tease you and ridicule you, which is just, it's still not pleasant, but it's better than, like, I'm going to slap you around. I mean, Okazaki. Then his head rested on my shoulder. Sorry, I think I'm really not feeling well. Maybe I should lie down. Of course, look at the bed ready for you. That's why she put some roofies in his wine, didn't she? I stood up to go make the bed, but he then touched my leg. Right here. Here's good. Aw, his CGs are so good. He's so precious. He's not my favorite, but, I mean, his CGs are good. He curled up in my lap, just like a cat. Now, you should lie down properly. You want me to tease you? Why is this happening? What kind of man sleeps in his girlfriend's bed and doesn't do anything else? A decent one? You're allowed to use it like a normal bed. His cheeks were hot on my lap. I looked at the dining table and noticed that the wine bottles were empty. We'd been talking so much I hadn't noticed how much we had drunk. He said that he can definitely drink more than this, though, so we really must be tired. You know, I love you so much. Where's this coming from? I'm not sure how to put it into words. It's so frustrating. Really? I feel like you're always telling me how much you love me, though. But it doesn't sound serious, right? I think you are the one that thinks it doesn't. Sometimes the things I say make me cringe, too. Oh, that much I believe. You've got issues. So mean. But I love that about you, too. You're clingy, selfish, and stubborn. But you're also kind, adorable, and hardworking. That's why I love you more than anyone else in the whole world. Did that sound not serious to you? Nuh-uh. It was quite serious to me. I'm so happy now. Hearing his voice full of wonder, I looked down at Okazaki's face. He is, like, fucking precious in his CGs. I love this. He avoided eye contact, and I noticed that his cheeks had flushed pink. It's not fair. You never say stuff like that, but you do it right at this moment. No fair. He's blushing. I often saw him look a little bashful when he was happy, but this was a rare sight indeed. He might actually be drunk. Wow, I don't see you blush very often. You're even redder than you usually are. I think this might be the first time I felt like this, in addition to not being able to find the right words. I can't think of anything cool to say. Pathetic, right? So frustrating. No, it actually makes me happy that you're showing me this part of yourself that nobody else gets to see. Yeah, but the man in me wishes you were falling for a more dashing version of myself. Otherwise, you might just fall out of love with me one day. Hey, how many times do I have to tell you that's not going to happen? But it might, you never know. It won't because we're in a Tome game, but in the real world, it might. I know it won't, but nothing is ever certain. It's not that I don't believe you, but I want to try harder for you. I guess I'm still a little scared. Relationships, romance, love, it's all so intangible. In the end, I always end up wanting to be even closer to you. Even now when I'm trying to warm up in your lap, that's half the reason I'm doing it. Okazaki closed his lips and laid his head back down on my lap. I think I know how Okazaki feels. He'd probably never be rid of the insecurity, no matter how much time we spent together. I was simply a part of being in a relationship with another person. I want to give him something too. I pondered what I could possibly do to ease his doubts more. I want to be closer to you too. Unless I did something to push things in that direction, our relationship probably wasn't going to develop properly. It wasn't right to always be passive, especially with a lover as troublesome as this. There had to be something I could do. Something that made it entirely clear that our love wasn't going to fade. Something he would never misunderstand. I quietly gulped, then steeled myself and said the words. So, Okazaki, will you marry me? That's so cute. It's, will you give me your life? That's definitely a more Okazaki-esque phrase, you know? Will you give me your life? Huh? He blinked at me a few times as if he was trying to understand what I'd said. Then he grinned wanly? 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 Is that a word? I don't know, I've never heard it. It's already yours. I told you before, remember? From now on, I belong only to you. I want more than just words. Okay, will you marry me? That's so cute, we're proposing to him! I put all my determination into the question, and he answered me with, what? He was wearing the dumbest expression that I'd ever seen him make. This went from like, oh, to like, what the fuck? So fucking funny. The course of true love never did run smooth. (4:29, 8:31 p.m.) I see. So your feelings got through to him? Yes. And what happened next? Whoa, wait. Don't tell me you engaged in salacious and illicit acts. Oh my god, he's not wearing his eye patch. Oh my fucking god, wait a minute. Back the fuck up. Why is Enomoto not wearing his eye patch? Who are you and what did you do with Enomoto? Illicit acts, such as... that. Giving in your longings at... first base. Oh my god, he's so adorably fucking awkward. You are actually so much fucking cuter without the eye patch, I'm not gonna lie. Like... I've got a new appreciation for Enomoto right now. I don't know. The defendant stands accused. Out with it, I say. Even if the Lord forgives your lewd actions, I, the Honorable Justice Mineo Enomoto, will not abide it. He's fucking great. So he... No, wait, never mind. I don't want to hear it. The love lives of my friends are too raw for me. You're tapping out already? What are you, 12? After that, Okazaki... can't hear you, la la la. Shut up and listen! Yes, ma'am. I roared at Enomoto, who meekly squeaked in reply. Then I looked around the room, like I'm gonna sit here like it's me. She's gonna be like, okay, so then he put his hands in my bed, like we're gonna actually fucking talk about that shit. So we were messing around, right? And then like, there was an empty pint in front of me, and 4 of my friends were sitting around the table. How did it come to this again? I vaguely recalled telling Sakuragawa and Mukai a story about Okazaki over drinks. At some point, Yanagi and Enomoto had happened to walk into the same pub, I think. Blah. Are you alright, Hoshino? You look like you've hit the drinks pretty hard tonight. You've hit the drinks pretty hard. Here, have some water. I'm fine. Anyway, just shut up and listen to this. Okay, I'm drunk. Alright. I recounted the rest of the story, though not without a bit of slurring. Sorry. Could you say that one more time? Huh? Well, I was talking about getting married. Who's marrying who? You and me. There was a long, long silence before Okazaki spoke again. Sorry, I've never even thought about it. Unbelievable! The utter nerve! He's as much of a jackass as Shiraishi! Look, I love Shiraishi and he's my boyfriend, right? But at the same time, in every other route that we're not marrying him, I want you to be with him just because he pisses you off so much. That'd be the funniest part. They wouldn't. They'd kill each other. Oh my god. I just love it. Ooh, that's terrible. That boy really dropped the ball on that one. Right? It's horrible, isn't it? He has basically proposed to me over and over, and that's how he reacts to this? When did he propose to you ever? But like, well, I mean, I guess I'll always be with you. We'll be together forever. I'm gonna give my life to you. Yeah, those kind of sounds like, then you're like, so we should get married. Whoa. Didn't say anything about forever. Yes, you did. 1,000,000 times. Sakuragawa and Mukai slapped me on the back comfortingly while I pounded the table with my fists. It's certainly very Okazaki of him. I don't know what else to say. Enomoto was like way fucking cute with the eye patch. Did he ever take it off in the first game? I don't remember, but like, you fucking weird. I might love you a little bit more than I ever have. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, but hey, Maybe he was just embarrassed and so he was hiding his feelings. A little late for that, don't you think? Just a few moments before he was talking about becoming family. Nobody's actually that stupid, right? He's doing this on purpose, isn't he? Relax, Hoshino. You and I both know how oblivious Okazaki can be about certain things. I doubt that it was a calculated remark. Meaning? Knowing him, I bet that he's actually never given a thought to marriage in his entire life. That slew me. I slammed my forehead into the table, which rattled with the force of my misery. There's no saving him now. I can't believe he built up all that anticipation just for the proposal to go over his head. It'd be even more awkward if it wasn't on purpose. I wailed pitifully. He was just asking me to never let him go, too. Just throwing in those sound effects. There you go. I think that was sincere. He just didn't associate it with marriage. I know. It didn't sound like a lie at all. Yanagi handed me a hot towel for comfort and asked a question. And that raises a good point. Hoshino, were you serious about it?
He's right. That's actually the most important question.
Yes. Yes, I was. And if I was being completely honest with myself, I had been confident that he would say yes. She was like, this is why women don't do this. Okazaki and I felt the same way about each other, and the only issues with our relationship were trivial things. So I had expected him to be shocked and overjoyed by my proposal and accept it wholeheartedly. I do like the fact that they threw in her proposing to him. But that was apparently just a fantasy, and this is my reality, because Okazaki really is kind of almost, like, so clueless that he would never think to do that himself. Yeah. I wasn't satisfied with his verbal expressions of love, so I wanted to seal the deal with a tangible pact. It would have given me some measure of peace, or so I thought. It felt like we were totally on the same page, and then he went and did that. Sakuragawa, I think it might be time for us to reform our alliance.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Oh, what's going on? What you guys doing? Clearly, now that Director Shiraishi has taken a leave of absence, it's time for the long-dormant legend to be reborn.
And I shall name it anew.
We found a new nemesis in place of Director Shiraishi. I can't wait to get started. New nemesis. The Shiraishi Bashing Coalition had been lying low due to Shiraishi's absence, but suddenly Enomoto and Yanagi stepped into the fray. The coalition's desires remain unchanged, but their meetups now mainly consist of getting together to complain. Mukai and Sakuragawa have had no previous interaction with Okazaki, so the protagonist feels like she's becoming the new target after their needling.
Members, 5! Let's order some skewers to mark the occasion.
To war! To war! Hey, do I have to join this club? Enomoto's just like any fucking reason for people to talk to me. I glanced at my excited friends and heaved a heavy sigh. Had I proposed in the right way? Still didn't know the answer to that question. Girls aren't supposed to do this! Ugh, so stuffy in there. Why does Kendo protective gear have to be so freaking hot and stuffy? I'll take our humid tropical summers over that any day. And just deal with it. Everyone has to. Yoshinari and I had spent nearly the entire day working as trainers, doing nothing but working out. We just left the dojo at HQ that the police kendo club used for practice. After I'd finished getting ready to leave, I'd met up with Yoshinari on the way home. Something's up with you today, sir. I actually managed to take a point from you. Doesn't that just mean you've been getting better at kendo? No, you're clearly dealing with some personal issues. It's gotta be that, right? You mentioned that something happened with Hoshino earlier. Yeah, it was undoubtedly the source of my gloomy mood. Sorry, I've never even thought about it. Huh? She stared at me as if I just told her the world was flat, or that I was secretly an alien, or I was secretly a flat earther and an anti-vaxxer. Huh? Get the fuck out! No, that would have been an instant dismissal. That not understanding the marriage thing is, we need to talk and figure this out, but you're a flat earther. Get out. Done. That's an instant cut. For a while, there was an awkward silence.
Spacey was the first to break it.
I apologize for springing something strange like that on you so suddenly. It's not strange, just... No, don't worry about it. I must have had too much to drink today. She cut me off and picked up the empty wine bottle. I think that's enough alcohol for today. You shouldn't be drinking when you aren't feeling well. You're tired from work after all. You should probably go home and get some rest. I hadn't seen her since. Why hadn't I been able to give her a real answer? It should have been easy enough for me to say something that would have made her happy. Let me set the mood before I answer, Kay. Of course I'd be happy to. Let's seal the promise with a kiss. The only thing I had actually done was make some kind of stupid expression and grunt. Well, I mean, you were completely taken aback. I get that. It came out of nowhere. We should get married, what? I'm sorry, I'm gonna need you to back up, huh? You kind of sprung that on someone. Not... When it's a romantic setting, you kind of get the feeling something is gonna happen, right? And then if a man is gonna propose, you're like, oh God, you know it's coming. Your brain starts to process before you do. And then we get... But like, if you're just sitting there like, you know what, let's get married, huh? Wait, what? What? Huh? What? I'm making dinner. What? When it comes out of fucking nowhere, it's like a slap in the face. You're like, what? What? Back it up. So, I understand him being a little shocked, but the... What? And he's like, no, I never thought about it at all. Huh? Marriage? What? He did handle it badly, but... I want to punch something. You mean yourself, right? Not me? From the way you told it, it sounds like this one is all your fault. But putting even that aside, you really do act differently in front of Hoshino. Yeah, it's tiring just thinking about it. Hey, Yoshinari, I have another confession to make. Yoshinari had backed up a couple steps. You want to punch something? There's more? All right, then. Go ahead and spit it all out, sir. I actually bought a ring as a present to give her before we had dinner. What? Were you gonna propose? Oh, no. Like I said, I'd never even thought about it. Why not? Why did you even buy it for? Don't you know what it means to give a woman a ring? I just thought it would look good on her. Holy mother of mixed messages, Okazaki! I love it. Maybe on a normal day, you'd barely get away with that, Okazaki. If you give her the ring now, it'll just look like you're trying to smooth things over. It's the worst gift you could give. You think so too, huh? Figures. Especially because you'd give her a ring and she'd be like, are you asking me to marry you? And he'd be like, whoa, no. And then that would have, I mean, this was all going to get awkward either way. You love Hoshino, don't you? And then stop trying to think of ways to just awkwardly calm her temper and just go straight for the goal. I guess you're right. I was silent for a moment and started speaking slowly, almost like it was more to convince myself. I love Spacey, without a doubt. I could swear my love for her right now. But I've never thought about marriage before, and that's the truth. I never expected her to propose to me. It's hard to explain this exactly, but honestly, I don't want to think about it. You don't? Yoshinari looked as if I just said something inconceivable. I understood what he wanted to say. Even if I couldn't answer my beloved girlfriend's proposal right away, the admission that I didn't want to think about marriage sounded outrageous. But it's no good. I'm confused. So you're saying that it's possible you might turn her down? I think so. Wow. I'm not sure yet myself, but the fact of the matter is I wasn't able to say yes right away. There had to be some reason for that. As long as I have these vague doubts, I'm in no state to swear my eternal love to her. I know that I shouldn't be having doubts about us yet. Okay. I'm sure he's going to figure out what it is, but it is kind of sad because this is like a real thing that happens and you're like, we gonna break up. I feel like in the bad ending, it's going to be a breakup because like, sorry, I'm just venting now. You're the one who's always saying that hesitation is the greatest threat to an SP. He smiled bitterly. Sorry in advance for this, sir. Yoshinari smiled and reached for my hand. I crashed into the ground face first, my vision going watery. He hadn't held back on that throw at all. It was brilliantly executed. Yoshinari, what the... Ow! This is so cute. That's my line, man. What the hell is wrong with you? For a moment, I didn't understand what was happening. What's wrong with you? Yoshinari jabbed his finger into my chest. He looked very upset. This is fucking adorable. Yoshinari is so okay. Like, Yoshinari is like, why do we have a side route with him? It's weird. But you know what? Right now in this CG, he's fucking adorable, and I love it. Between you and me, ever since you joined the SP, I've looked up to you. I admired how strong and single-minded you were, even if you were a little mean and messed with me. If you were a little mean and you mess with me, something like that. I still thought you were really cool, but now you're all full of doubts and letting your emotions get the better of you. It's painful to see you like this. You're right. I'm conscious of it too. And I know that I've been a disappointment to you. A disappointment? No, that's not what I meant. Sure, you've been pretty pathetic and embarrassing to watch, but I like that side of you too. This bromance happening here. The reason I'm angry is because you hate that part of yourself. It's okay to feel that way. What's wrong with that? People feel pain and doubt all the time. But we're SP. I'm talking about life right now, not work. Do you love Hoshino because it's part of your job? Can you deny having any doubts about your relationship the way you're supposed to at work? Yoshinari thrust his finger at me one more time. Ow! Stop acting like it's a bad thing to question yourself. Quit making excuses. Think long and hard about what you need to do before you give up on life, you dumbass. Yoshinari, I'm so fucking proud of him right now. Just wanna, you know what? I'm okay doing your route now. Like, before I was like, why? I mean, we're gonna do it and we'll probably enjoy it, but it'll be like, but why Yoshinari? But now it's like, oh, you're precious. You deserve a little romance now. I've heard before that you learn even more as a teacher than you did as a student. It was okay to have doubts. It was okay to question myself. She'd said the same words to me as well. And they were the polar opposite of the SP's values. Yoshinari urged me to remember a way of thinking that was in direct opposition to our SP training. As an SP operative, he was telling me to accept and even encourage my own failings. I felt that my partner and pupil was echoing the words of my late friend, who passed away 2 years ago. Hey, Okazaki, don't be like me. Perhaps what Tsukishima had been trying to tell me back then was not to doubt myself before I reached a point of no return. Was it a final word of advice so that I wouldn't make a choice I regretted? So that I would consider my actions fully before acting decisively? Perhaps it was just my wishful thinking, but I now felt that there had been a deeper message behind his words. That's all I wanted to say. I hope my words reached your heart. Yoshinari met me with an earnest gaze. Then, Yoshinari, sir, He looked away. Sorry, Yoshinari. I'm already in love with someone else. Are you an idiot? Anyway, sorry about all that. I had a lot to get off my chest. It was a little bromantic. Like, but you know. Bromantic is fine. I know. I was just kidding. Thanks for the warning. Man, I feel so loved today. Please don't put it that way. It's creepy. He chuckled and poked me in the chest again. I know that you're feeling indecisive because you take this so seriously. But when you get stuck in your own head like that, you'll just drift apart and eventually break up. Don't make a choice you'll regret, alright? Yeah, I definitely don't want that to happen. I'm gonna give the future some thought. Otherwise, I might swipe Hoshino from under your nose, right? Nah, there's no danger of that happening till we get to his route. You won't know until I try. I might still have a chance. We both laughed, and then I returned my attention to the pressing issue. But even if I do my best to think about it, I might end up making things worse. Plus, you don't seem like a good person to get love advice from. Excuse me? I think this is actually the perfect time to ask your very experienced partner for help, you know. You're definitely experienced, but this situation calls for someone with the right experience. Gosh, that almost sounded like a compliment. In actuality, I felt guilty for relying on Yoshinari as much as I already had, so I made the decision that I'd have to solve this myself. What should I do first? My phone buzzed as if to provide an answer to my question. Is it me? Or you're free to talk anytime soon. Yanagi? That was unusual. Sometimes I reached out to him, but Yanagi almost never initiated contact. but I had a feeling I knew what this was about. I'm not really in the mood. However, if my intuition was correct, I couldn't afford to avoid the impending conversation. Yanagi's gonna slap him. Are you an idiot? Why is everyone calling me that today? 4:30, 9:47 a.m. Well, I know it hasn't been long, but thank you for so much for your help and support. Of course. Take the experience you've gained here and use it to do your best in your next venture. You're a pretty sharp guy, Sayaki. I'm sure you'll fit well wherever you go. That's my only redeeming quality, I'm afraid. Thank you for everything, Mochita. Today, April 30th, my friend and colleague since the police academy, Yuzuru Sayaki, quit the police. Felt like an end to a chapter in my life as well. Gonna be lonely without you here, Sayaki. Hey, I feel the same way. In fact, I wish I could ask you to come with me. I could really use the help. I tried, but the collar didn't work. But you got your own goal, and that's to protect the peace here. Yeah. I'll visit once in a while. No crying when I do, though, alright? I definitely won't. Oh, really? In my farewell party, I seem to recall your eyes getting pretty watery. That didn't happen. Farewell party? He still works here. In fact, there had been plenty of chances to say my goodbyes to Sayaki. Sayaki had a wide social circle, and plenty of people had shown up to his farewell party. They were all saddened by his upcoming departure, so I'd seen how popular he was. It's really funny. Like, you watch, he's so popular, everyone loves it. No. He's so charming. And he's so good at, like, conning you into thinking he's a wonderful person. You gotta take care of yourself, too. It's fine to be dedicated to work, but don't forget that you need to get along with your boyfriend, too. Wait, why'd you go all speechless now? You got me worried, girl. How am I supposed to just leave you now? He's like, did you break up? Should I stay? Oh no, we're fine. Oh, damn it. Well, I think we'll get along. Whoa, what's this now? What's going on with that Okazaki fella? It's more that nothing happened. I had vented all my complaints at the insistence of my friends, but to be honest, Okazaki hadn't really done anything to wrong me. He'd been startled by the surprise proposal, but it wasn't as if he had actually rejected me. I allowed myself to get caught up in my own expectations. Still, his reaction had been quite unexpected. I was so sure he would be overjoyed and immediately agree to wed. Hey, don't tell me you two had a fight. No, I proposed to him and he said he never thought about marriage, and Sayaki's like, I'll marry you. Pretty much. What? Oh no. Was it because of the time we went out drinking? I like how you think it's about you. Okay, you're cute. What the hell did you do, Sayaki? Didn't anyone ever teach you to clean up your own messes? No, it's not like that. It wasn't your fault, Sayaki. I guess you could say it was just a big misunderstanding on my part. Sayaki and Mochita studied my face since I hadn't given them a concrete explanation. Oh, well, these things happen. Cheer up, Hoshino. We can't give Sayaki a proper send-up if you're acting all gloomy. Right. He's right. Don't make that face. I'm sure Okazaki will understand if you explain your feelings properly. Remember, you said before that if two people truly hold each other dear, then they'll understand each other if they talk it out. Yeah, you're right. Of course, that had been the answer all along. Regardless of whatever doubts he was having, I'd already made up my mind to love him, including the parts of him that I didn't understand. Of course, I was still a little scared and was trying to convince myself to stay the course. After all, when I had asked him to marry me, he looked genuinely troubled. No new texts, huh? I checked my phone during break and sighed. Okazaki normally texted me good morning and good night daily without fail, but he hadn't done so even once since that day. Oh god, that would... You don't even do your normal shit? You're like, you don't... That's bad. He hadn't texted me in 2 days. Relatively speaking, that wasn't very long at all, but I couldn't deny that I felt anxious and lonely. If it's normal for you to not text every day, then that's one thing, but every day, good morning, good night, good morning, good night, good morning, good night, and then all of a sudden that stops, it's like, somebody's checked out. Like, we kind of had an argument, but, like, you know what I mean? Sometimes you're like, we're in a fight, but I'm still going to tell you good morning and good night, because that's a normal, like, maybe I should send him something. I did put him in an awkward situation, after all. I worked up a little bit of courage and tried sending an innocuous message. Sorry for making things awkward before. you feeling better? I'm sorry, too. Yeah, no hangover. Actually, I've never had a hangover before. That's good. Can I see you next week? I'm a bit busy, so next week may not work. I'll try to find a day we're both free and let you know. That sounds like a brush off. You know what I mean? I know it's not, but it sounds like one. I was relieved that he'd replied, but there was clearly something different about his tone. We texted each other daily for months, so I noticed the subtle change. It caused a squeezing pain in my chest. I wanted to see him and talk in person. Thought it might help clear the air. 5/4, 10:45 p.m. Are we going out with him or is he on his own? It's been a while, Yanagi. Yeah. When I entered the bar and saw Yanagi for the first time in months, I felt a little relieved. He gestured for me to take a seat next to him at the bar, and I ordered a Greyhound, and Yanagi got himself a salty dog. I was in the mood for something cool and refreshing to soothe my throat, or rather than something with a lot of alcohol that burned my throat. It's pretty rare for you to invite me out for drinks. He used to avoid me, in fact. This feels so different. That's only because the way you act makes people want to avoid you. Yanagi smirked and raised his glass to me. Then he dove straight into business. It was very Yanagi to just get to the point. I heard the story from Hoshino. Sounds like there was a pretty big misunderstanding between you two. Did Spacey come to you? No, I just happened to run into her at the pub. Enomoto, Sakuragawa, and Mukai were there too. There's now an I Hate Okazaki club. I'm sorry if this sounds nosy of me, but I know that you both struggled to stay on the same page ever since the X-Day cases last year. We're just here today because you said to call you if I ever needed anything. You can see right through us, huh? And this time... No, not this time. Every time. It hasn't been her fault. It's always been mine. So you're aware? Yeah, it's weird, though. When she asked me to marry her, I had no idea what to think. She's the love of my life, and I should be absolutely thrilled to be marrying her, yet... What's bothering you, then? There's gotta be some reason. It's a long story. I didn't realize that everybody's eyes in this are kind of like purpley kind of color. It's interesting. I mean, ours are like green, but it's kind of weird because it's like, I just realized there, I'm like, is everyone's eyes purple? I guess I haven't been paying much attention. And that's why I chose today to do this. I know you've got tomorrow off. He basically told me point blank that we'd be discussing this all night if necessary. Yanagi had an unlit cigarette in his mouth. I lit it for him like it was the ceremonial torch for some kind of epic event. So I see. Yanagi put out his cigarette. I lost count of how many he'd finished a long time ago. He sighed. That's the only thing about Yanagi that sucks. Smoking is not sexy. It's not. It doesn't taste good when you kiss you. But we're gonna have to make you quit. Sounds like I didn't even need to talk to you. You already know the answer. Is that how it sounds to you? Yeah, I'll make this short. You just gotta tell her how you feel now. And that's the hardest choice of all. Yanagi was right, though. Now that someone else was saying it, I forced myself to accept the truth that I'd already known. From the start, there had only been one thing that I could do. The funniest thing is, it almost sounds like, oh my god, he's gonna break up with us. So I wonder if the normal ending is like, we just kind of we just go on our own separate ways, or we just continue the way we're going, and then the good ending is like, whatever. You know what I mean? Because it almost like, that's not gonna happen. We're getting a good ending. Our good ending is not gonna be us breaking up. But like, you're like, is that like because the normal ending is never... I mean, Sada Suzuka's normal ending was literally normal. Like, hey, we're just chilling out, hanging out, having fun, and that was it. We didn't get the after-story proposal thing, right? But now you wonder, like, do we? Because his bad endings are in the prologue, so, I mean, I'm worried. Oh, a text. I'm going to bed early. Good night. I looked at my phone on the counter and narrowed my eyes. My chest hurt. I could feel the anxiety packed into each character of her brief message. I knew that I should have cut this meeting short and gone to her to reassure her. In the end, this was all I managed to say in reply. I'm gonna think about it. Wait for me. Are you sure about that?
Yeah. If I went to see her now, I'd just repeat the same mistake. So before I do that, I have to collect my thoughts and give her a real answer, or else there's no point.
I see.
Yanagi took a drag on yet another cigarette and exhaled, filling the air with smoke. There was a silence that neither affirmed or denied my feelings, and I found it comforting.
Okay, I'm going to stop here, and we are going to finish this in the next part. So we'll see what she thinks about that text. I'm going to think about it. Wait for me. That's so... I mean, he's like, I can tell that she's stressed and has anxiety. Let me make it worse. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.